Los ataques web dirigidos al navegador, perpetrados con kits de malware como MPack que los hackers pueden adquirir en foros a las mafias de ciberdelincuentes por unos $1000, están dando lugar a una nueva categoría de productos de seguridad web. Laura Yecies, directora general de la división de consumo de Checkpoint, define esta nueva gama de productos y explica cómo la solución ForceField combate los ataques al navegador.
Basically, websites that are either malicious websites or websites that have been compromised can take advantage of vulnerabilities in the browser and use those vulnerabilities to deliver malware. So what we're seeing, kind of the net of this is, in 5 years ago, the way people got malware was usually through email attachments, and so we would educate our users, don't click on email attachments. Well, right now the danger is not email attachments, it's simply browsing, and browsing potentially even websites that you would think are safe suddenly can deliver malware. So given this situation, we believe that a new category of security product, which we're calling browser security, who knows what it will end up being called, where we specifically protect the browser because the browser is the vehicle for delivering the malware. Typically, the malware that you get is specific to an operating system. So a malware will be designed specifically for Windows, or it would be designed, and that's the common one, maybe for Unix or Mac. So your mobile device, if it browses to one of these websites, would not get the same attack that a PC would. However, mobile devices or Macintoshes, there's still a risk because you could have what's called phishing, where you're just tricked and you think that you're going to your bank website, and that's not delivering malware, but you're entering your personal information, potentially risking your money. And so that's another type of threat. And phishing has continued to increase. And that's another capability that we've put into ForceField. And we do things like we look at where the website's hosted, how long the website's been in existence, and we look for other characteristics of the website. So for instance, if you're going to the Iberia Airlines website and you're going to pay by credit card, but our engine looks at it and it sees that the site is hosted in China and was created 3 months ago, probably it's not really the website that you think it is.
La sofisticación de los nuevos ataques hace que los usuarios deban estar más pendientes de los efectos que estos causan en sus equipos. Sin embargo, el miedo a ser víctima de malware no debe provocar un rechazo a participar de los beneficios de Internet.
So this is one of the problems, is that it's not always obvious, but there are a few things to keep in mind. Sometimes the PC will just start slowing down, in some kind of unexplained way, or the browser runs more slowly, or it crashes more frequently, and this could mean that you've had some malware on your PC. You can look. Some people will look in the task manager and see if they see some strange processes running. That's not always, most users don't know what the names of SVC host means, so that's not always that helpful, but you can query on them. This is why, because it's not always easy to know, it's better, you need to kind of have a prevention type approach, which is to always have a full security suite. By that I mean firewall, antivirus, anti-spyware, and if you use client mail like Outlook, anti-spam, and then a browser security solution on top of it. The same people who tried to take advantage of someone who's being charitable or generous in the offline world may be doing it in the online world. The problem is, in the online world you can be doing it to 1 million people a day, whereas the panhandlers may be doing it to 100 people a day. That doesn't mean that you can't donate online. It just means that you shouldn't reply to an email. So if there's an organization that you know about, like UNICEF or Red Cross or something that you know about, go directly to their website. Don't go from an email. Don't go from a link. But type it in. Be very careful how you type it, because sometimes the mistyping are also predator sites. And then I think it's safe to donate money online. It just requires some attention. And there are such great benefits to the internet and from connectivity that we encourage people to use the internet. And so what we say is take sensible precautions, use a security suite, don't go to known dangerous sites, and then live your life, you know, and do your shopping and do your banking and do your email, because there's so much to be gained by doing that. So similarly, we have educational materials for parents, and there are certain steps that they should take with their children. And of course, this varies by age. But once again, I mean, kids are able to learn so much and get so much information on the internet, I think.
Checkpoint acaba de publicar la versión definitiva de ForceField Sound Alarm, una solución que virtualiza la interfaz entre el navegador y el sistema operativo para proteger el ordenador. La compañía ya presentó en España hace unos meses la beta del producto y Yecies explica ahora la diferencia con la versión definitiva.
The most important difference is performance. So in the early beta period, we definitely got some feedback from our users that it slowed their browsing down. So we put a lot of engineering effort into doing that. In addition, compatibility. And when I say compatibility, I mean that very broadly. So compatibility with other security products, because we know that people use many security products. Compatibility with all kinds of, so browsers are very heterogeneous. So your browser, even if we both use Firefox, we probably have a different version or different plugins, or we use it differently and we go to different websites, and the websites use those plugins differently. So all the variations and permutations were things that we had to kind of get the kinks worked out. As you probably recall with ForceField, we have this principle that if the user doesn't solicit, didn't actively try to download something, we block it. It can do that automatically. And that's probably a good thing, because maybe it's patching a security hole. So there's all these little exceptions to the exceptions that we worked on in the beta period to make sure that the final experience is very smooth. The two-way bubble of security with virtualization, the active security layers, anti-phishing, spy site blocking, dangerous download protection, private browsing.
Como parte de su estrategia y complemento para sus soluciones empresariales, Checkpoint está pensando en sacar al mercado una versión corporativa de este producto.
So I can't talk with specifics, but what I can say is the same problem that consumers face, where they can go to a website and without taking any action have malware put onto their computer. Enterprise users face the same problem. So we see that that's a real problem. The IT managers are concerned about it, and we plan to do an enterprise version. This is our strategy in general. So if you look at Zone Alarm, will typically get features first, and then they show up in what used to be called integrity, that we now call checkpoint endpoint security. So for instance, we integrated the Kaspersky antivirus engine in consumer last year, and now it's in the checkpoint endpoint solution. Of course, to do that, it needs to be managed, so you can distribute it automatically. And I expect that we'll have some specific features for enterprise.